In this short video, I'm going to be talking to you about the demonstration speech, or speech number 2 for the COM 101 class. I'll be going over the requirements. I'll be talking a little bit about choosing a topic, and finally I'll discuss briefly about your speech itself. So let's get started. The requirements include a few things. First of all, you'll prepare and present a 5 to 7 minute speech. It's informative in nature. It is a demonstration or how-to speech, how to do something. The specific goal of the speech is that you'll want to provide information that clearly explains the process you selected for the speech. You'll also need to provide supporting material, a minimum of 2 sources, and use an appropriate organizational pattern. So for your 2 sources, this speech, it doesn't matter if like in the future speeches, for your speech 3 and 4, I won't allow you to use Wikipedia, for example, but for this speech, Wikipedia would be fine. If you're demonstrating how to make a chocolate cake and you have a recipe from a cookbook for a chocolate cake, that'd be one source, and maybe you Google chocolate cake and find a different variation of the recipe somewhere online, that'd be another source. So I want you to get in the habit of using sources, but we're not going to be picky about them for this speech. You'll prepare a full sentence outline. It'll include your thesis statement, specific purpose, and the bibliography with your 2 sources. And you'll prepare that using the Outline Builder app in MindTap, following APA guidelines. And when you get into that Outline Builder, it'll give you the opportunity to choose between different formats, and you want to make sure you choose the APA or American Psychological Association format. And then you can make your note cards in there as well, or you can just use 3x5 cards if you want to and write those out yourself. Try not to put too much information on your note cards. Make sure they follow your outline format and use keywords. And make sure I get a copy of your note cards along with your outline and bibliography. If you do it on 3x5 cards, just lay those cards face down on a copy machine or a scanner and scan those and print them up just on a single page. And it's worth 100 points, and you'll be able to look at that rubric when you click on the assignment the week that it becomes available. You can just click on the assignment itself, and then you'll see a little link there that'll say View Rubric, and you can click on that and see that if you want to. So now let's talk a little bit about your topic. So you're going to demonstrate how to do something. So for example, you could demonstrate how to perform CPR if you know how to do that. Maybe you could demonstrate how to grip and swing a golf club if you like that, or some other sport you're involved with, some hobby or activity you like to do. How to repot a plant. These are just examples. Probably the one that most students do, or more than any of the others anyway, is preparing food. I don't know why students always seem to like to bring food to class. So if you're going to prepare food, obviously we don't have an oven or a stove or anything like that in the classroom. So we do what I call the cooking show analogy. What this means is that if you've watched a cooking show on TV, the chef is preparing the recipe, they're talking their audience through it, explaining it, doing their speech, and then when they're done, they say, voila, and they turn around and they pull one out already prepared. So what you'll want to do is prepare it in advance at home, and then you'll prepare it again as you demonstrate it. That means you've got to buy 2 of everything, and if that's a little bit expensive, maybe you're preparing a dish that has some expensive ingredients and you don't want to do that, it is fine to kind of fake it in class when you do it. Like for example, if you were making a fruit salad with all the different cans of fruit and the cream and different condensed milks and things, you could just make your fruit salad at home, refrigerate it, bring it to class, rinse out the empty cans that you used, and bring your bowl and say, first thing you add is a can of this fruit. And you've got the empty can, and we'll pretend like you dumped it in there so you don't have to buy 2 of everything. Although most students do just go ahead and buy 2 of everything and bring one for the class to sample, and then one they make and take home with them for later. Do make sure you bring enough for the class to have a sample. Also, if you're doing a recipe or something that involves a lot of steps, you'll want to type that up and make enough copies for everyone in class. Typically a class will have about 25 students, but you know about how many are in your class. So if you're going to do food, for sure bring the recipe for everybody, and bring whatever utensils, if you need spoons or something to serve and all that, and make sure you bring something to clean up your mess. So just be prepared for everything. We can't leave a big mess in the classroom. But that's up to you to demonstrate whatever you want to. You can choose your own topic, but do remember it is a demonstration not an explanation. So that means it's not enough to explain how to do something. You have to actually physically do it. You have to demonstrate what you're doing in class. And remember, your topic must be appropriate for class. So by appropriate, we mean that it can't involve anything that is like drugs, alcohol, weapons. Certainly no firearms are allowed on campus at all, ever, under any circumstances. If you have a knife because you're cutting up something for a recipe you're demonstrating, that's okay. But otherwise, be careful about that. Also, if you're going to demonstrate something that you need another person to participate in, it's okay if you ask for volunteers from the audience, but use some common sense there. For example, if you want to demonstrate how to take someone's blood pressure, that's okay. If you want to demonstrate how to take their blood, let's not do that. Nothing that might actually physically hurt someone. If you want to demonstrate, like a popular one is to demonstrate how to braid hair, and one of your classmates wants to participate and let you braid their hair, great, no problem with that. Just as long as you're demonstrating physically how to do something and it's something that's appropriate for class. And if you have any question about whether or not something's appropriate, then chances are it's probably not. If you're not sure that it's appropriate, then it's probably not. Now let's talk a little bit about the speech itself. So it is a speech, right? So you want to make sure you have a clear introduction. That should include an attention getter, like we talked about on the last speech. Could be a quote, a question, something humorous, a statistic, a brief story, whatever it is. But that's what you want to start with. That should be the first thing you say. So don't come up and tell us what your topic's going to be or something first. Just begin your speech with your attention getter. You want to make sure you have a clear thesis and preview of your main points. That's really important. Be sure you tell us what your main points are going to be. Have significance, meaning that how would your audience ever use this information? Why should we care? Why should we listen to you? Audiences are always asking themselves that question. What's in it for me? Why do I listen? And credibility. What makes you credible to do it? So, for example, if you're demonstrating how to bake a chocolate cake, that's a recipe been handed down through your family, you would tell us, my family bakes this for every special occasion or something like that. Next, you want to have a body of the speech, obviously, and you want to make sure your body includes 2 to 5 main points. Going to have sub-points and all that as well. And clear transitions. So, for example, if I was demonstrating how to bake a chocolate cake, I might say, now that I've shown you all of the ingredients you need to get together for the cake, next I'll show you how to actually mix up the cake. Something like that, but make sure you have transitions. And finally, of course, you have to have a conclusion. You want to make sure you restate your thesis, review your main points briefly. You don't need to go through your whole demonstration again, but briefly review your main points. And then a closing statement, something again similar to the attention getter in the introduction. You might finish your story or have another quote there or something, but just a closing statement. Remember, always leave your audience wanting more. So hopefully that'll give you some idea what we're doing for this speech. If you have questions, be sure to email me or call me during office hours, or send me a message on Canvas, or however you want to do that. But just if you have a question, let me know, and I look forward to hearing your speeches.